Art imitates life. Since I made this page, one thing that's become abundantly clear to me is that a lot of you guys do not watch the media that you are consuming with a critical eye. You watch the thing for the storytelling, and then you try to tell yourself that the story does not impact how you see the rest of the world. And honestly, either you're lying to yourselves or you're not really that intelligent. A lot of us started watching Star Trek when we were kids. Storytelling has a huge impact on the brain development of children, and Star Trek is storytelling. Storytelling has always been one of the best ways to shape the minds of young people, and that carries forward into adulthood. The way that we perceive the world is very much heavily influenced by the media that we consume. And it's because of that I can tell by the interpretation of that media how some of y'all are actually living your lives. The last video that I made, somebody actually came in and said that the Bajorans, they were shocked by how racist the Bajorans were towards the Cardassians at the end of the episode Duet. And I immediately blocked them. And I'm going to tell you why. And remember, art imitates life. If you relate more to the Cardassians than you do to the Bajorans, if you can't understand why the Bajorans, who have just gotten out of an occupation, by the way, would be upset or hate the Cardassians, then you don't see it in real life either. You don't want to see it. You think that people that are truly in fear of their lives from things that have been done to them by horrible people are irrational and just being racist. If you can't understand how the Bajorans would hate the Cardassians as they actively try to rebuild their entire society after going through a G-side, if you relate more to the Cardassians, you're living your actual life that way as well. And I don't necessarily mean a difference in interpretation of the story or maybe like adding context or trying to add context, because I said all the context that needed to be said in the video, but even trying to add context to the story. What I'm saying is when people are straight up like, well, they were wrong because the Cardassian was actually a good person. There's another person that said that Cardassian in particular did nothing wrong, despite the fact that he was very close and heavily involved in all of the processes that it took in order for the Bajorans to be unalive. He was not an innocent Cardassian citizen. He was directly involved in the G-side that was happening against the Bajorans. Y'all sound stupid. And whether you think this statement is right, wrong, or indifferent, the fact of the matter is I see things like that and I know instantly that what you want is to be absolved of all the bullshit that you've done in your life without actually doing any work, mind you. Either that or else you walk through the world with rose-colored glasses on and you just don't want to see things the way that they are, and quite frankly, shit like that makes my brain hurt. If you made it this far, what I would implore you to do is to think about how you interpret the art that you consume, the media that you consume, and really think about how that relates back to your real life, because again,